Okay, I'm here to preserve and to educate something that may be common to you or to your parents or your grandparents or your ancestors further back. It's something that I discovered as an adult, and it was something I did not learn very easily. And in the old days, when people were first coming to this country, they brought with them old fiddle tunes like Soldier's Joy or Lord MacDonald's Reel. And with them, they brought something else. The sound of their feet. And I have discovered that there is a story inside the sound of this feet. And what I'm going to share with you goes by many different names. It has many different shapes, many different forms. People that have a hard time learning dance, people who have two left feet, people who just catch on real slow tend to do well in this dance. I was bound for greatness when I discovered this. So when I first learned my first step, I was very, very excited about this and the whole experience of it. And I thought, after learning a little bit, I thought I'd be getting fan mail. So I'd be out there every day checking my mailbox, seeing if I got any fan mail coming in. And I checked for 6 months and nothing ever showed up. But then one day, a letter did show up. And this came from a 4th grader. He writes, "Dear Mr. Andrig, I'm a 4th grader at Floyd County School in Appalachia. My mom helped me spell that word. We're doing a class project where each of us has to write a biography on a traditional artist. I chose dance since my mama likes to play fiddle and my dad played banjo in the kitchen. This is all sounding pretty good. And now here's a real kicker here, this last line that he writes. All the other artists my classmates have selected have died, so I hope you can write back soon." Well, I wrote back to him right away. This style of dance goes back a long ways to the very roots of our country and beyond. And there's many definitions, many sources that I was talking about. But one of the sources I like to mention relates to soldiers in the Civil War. And many of the soldiers who came from these parts and other parts of Appalachia did this dance. And when they went on these marches, many of these soldiers, or many of these brigades, had string band music that came with them, including a full upright bass. I don't know how you march with the bass, but if it did, that'd be something to see. But as the soldiers went on these marches, they discovered that the marches were easier when that music was playing. And the soldiers' march was a difficult march. Day after day, march after march, they carried heavy packs, 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds apiece, mountain range after mountain range. When they took those packs off and they set them on the top of a mountain range, surely it must have felt very light on their feet. And if they heard that music, that dance just would have come very natural to them. We like to define this dance as a natural reaction to the music. Now, when they were doing some of their battles and when they'd break for the evening, they'd break into their camps and they would play that music and they would dance. But sometimes they would listen across the valley to the other side. And sometimes they would even send a messenger over to the other Union or Confederate side, and they would request that they play certain tunes. And they would compare those tunes to their own to see how they were. Now, as the soldiers did the march, they had lots of time to think about things. And when they get a little bored sometimes, they could sometimes do something with their feet during that march. They could add in an extra little tick. They didn't miss a beat. They were still there. That's a step called the Mitchell, named after the man I first learned it from. He dances that particular step all the time. And another man later on I discovered, a man by the name of Bowman, he did the opposite of that little. He used his toe instead. And those little Mitchells and those Bowmans, they can be mixed together. pretty soon you got a bunch of soldiers doing this following the march, and you can hear all kinds of interesting patterns coming out of their feet. Now, how many of you have ever seen clogging? Raise your hand if you've ever seen clogging. Almost all of us.
Seen what?
If you ever heard the term flatfoot, raise your hand. Many of us, yeah. How about buck dancing? A few buck dancers? Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, we're going to call you up here to demonstrate. So this dance is based on the basis of translating these happy thoughts down through our body and through our feet. And we have very defined steps. And what I'm doing right now is called the Soldier's March. And those little extra things I added are just motions. This is one reason why people always look different when they do this dance. It's because they mix in those motions different with these very common steps that they do. I'm going to go ahead and put on a little music here, and I'm going to show you just how this dance would look with some Bowmans and some Mitchells mixed in.
He's about to be out of breath. Just...
Get up here, dance, Elsie. You can do that, Dave. That's just the Soldier's March. That's just the Soldier's March with a little few motions mixed in. And is there any questions that have come up so far? Anything about this dance? And I do enjoy getting questions from the audience. And if there are no questions,